Hey there, my fellow intellectuals. I know it's been like, I don't know, months since my last video, and I wanted to make a brief kind of update video as to why that has been the case. And it's going to be kind of hard because there's just been a lot of things that have happened over the past year that I probably will dedicate maybe a few more videos to, and some videos that I recorded in the past that I just never uploaded that will kind of seem out of sequence after this one. But I kind of just wanted to like preface all the things you might see on this channel moving forward, because it might be a little bit different from what you've seen before. So obviously I haven't been making a lot of videos um, since the AAS conference in June. And the reason for that is that I have just been so overwhelmed with the amount of work I've been doing over the past few months and over the past year, really, because I was also doing so much content creation on YouTube and on Twitch. And I just and taking on the project with the Fundamentals of Astrophysics book, which I will address. Um, Basically, I was stretching myself way too thin and not really thinking about it and realizing it, and not really considering how it would impact sort of the progression of my PhD, which I'm still slotted to graduate in about 8 months' time, which is fine. But I was sort of getting distracted, um, because I think there was a lot of things, right? Obviously, we are still in a pandemic because of coronavirus, and I think I just was like using content creation, um, as a kind of like an outlet to like express my creative side. And I really enjoy content creation. I don't want that to get lost. I really love doing it. I wouldn't have made over 150 videos on this channel if I didn't like doing it. I do, but I think I kind of forgot what my main purpose in graduate school was, which was to like, finish my PhD and write a dissertation, all that stuff, try and get on the academic job market. And it kind of got to a point where I was just feeling so overwhelmed with all the things I was doing that I was getting overwhelmed, and then I got coronavirus back in May. So like all of that just kind of, I don't know, it all just came together. And then after I got over COVID, I don't know, I just kind of felt like, I just felt kind of exhausted and just kind of mentally burnt out. Um, and I have this habit in my life where I just take on so many different responsibilities and interests and hobbies. And I just want to do like everything. I just really want to do everything, but then I can't really do everything well, and things start to kind of fall apart. I start doing things mediocrely, and I really hate seeing that. So at a certain point, I had to be like, all right, I have to like stop doing things that are not directly contributing to my PhD at the moment, just so I can sort of reorient myself in terms of getting back on track. So that meant like I have to stop streaming on Twitch. I have to like reduce YouTube content creation output. I have to get off social media, that kind of thing. Because I was also just realizing how much time I'm wasting on social media, because, I have to use social media to sort of spread my content, obviously. But, it was also just sort of eating up time during my day. And so I had to sort of reduce all of that to the point where it was like going cold turkey and just like getting rid of all of it completely. And I kind of did it without any sort of explanation, and I apologize in advance, but it was really sort of an act of self-care, in a way, because I just was so overwhelmed, simply put, and still kind of am in a way, because now I'm applying for postdocs. And I think that's another thing some people have been asking about, because if you looked on my Twitter a few months ago, or maybe like a month ago, I pretty much made a whole post about how I don't want to stay in academia anymore, and that was valid. That's how I felt at the time, and in some aspects, there are still nuggets of truth in that thread about how I feel. But essentially, I got to the point where I felt like I can't do it. Like I'm not going to have the competitive application I would want for the postdoc market this upcoming year, because I don't really have any publications at the moment. Well, now I have one, and I just finished a draft about another paper a few days ago, and all of that, all of these sort of publications were a product of me deciding to be like, all right, that's it. I got to just hunker down. I just got to focus on the PhD now and just block out everything else. And so, like, it's a very weird transitory period in my life, and I'm sorry that it's kind of affecting, the content I put out there, because it's, like I said before, like this is a very fun like hobby for me, and I love using it to like express just my creative side and just sharing ideas and thoughts to the world, to people who actually want to listen. And it's been a pleasure to having met some of you and hearing how my content has interested you. That means the world to me, and I really would like to do it more. And like, for example, like the fundamentals of astrophysics project I had, I took that on as well because I really wanted to do it. I still want to do it, but it's like I'm currently trying to like, teach a 20-hour class a week. I'm trying to finish my dissertation, writing a paper, editing a paper, applying for postdocs. Like, it's just so much right now that's focused on just like my primary job, that everything else kind of had to get pushed to the side. And I really feel bad about that, to be perfectly honest. But I kind of had some ideas as to how I can sort of strike a decent balance between the two, that I don't know if it will work, but I'm willing to try at least. So I filmed a few videos on over the past couple of months that have kind of touched on some of these topics I'm talking about in this video. So it's going to be kind of weird to see them sort of asynchronously, in the sense that this will come first and then the stuff from the past is going to come next. But maybe this will give some context for that past content. So I don't know. But yeah, it's like there's been so much that's happened to me over the past year. If you've been following on Twitter, then you probably have heard some of the things that have been happening in behind the scenes in my life. So hopefully you guys can understand. But yeah, in terms of future projects, I guess they're both products and projects. For YouTube, I don't want to say I'm canceling the fundamentals of astrophysics video project. It would just take forever, honestly, because it's like a whole book. But again, it's my hobby, and like I would love to just make content when I have the time for it. And I do like doing it. Like I made like another section for it not that long ago, because it had been like months, and I was like, I kind of just want to see if I can crank one of these out in like under 2 hours, and I did, and it was a fun process. But it's like, that takes time. And I think another thing that makes it hard is that, as you're mostly aware, I'm just sort of a single, person in terms of running this channel. Like I don't have like an editor. I don't have someone who like designs my thumbnails. I don't have someone who, does all of the in-between stuff. I do all of the recording, the editing, the publishing, the writing the descriptions, creating the thumbnails, posting on my social media. Is like I do all of it, right? And this is not to be like, oh, woe is me, because I mean every small content creator kind of has that problem before they can hire other people, and I am in no position to hire anybody. But that's just kind of the reality of it, right? Like I'm just sort of, I have the responsibility of doing everything for the channel, so it takes a lot of time, and I just don't have that commodity of time right now to really spend. So yeah, that's kind of where things are right now, with me personally and professionally. And I hope you guys can understand as to why the output might be kind of weird. Like I said, I do have a few videos I've recorded over the past couple of months that kind of touch on some of the topics I've been talking about, especially one when I went to a conference in Arizona, and I had this whole disaster with 2 cars breaking down on me. That's a whole story that'll be an interesting video to upload. Yeah, in terms of future for like some ideas I had, I'm thinking of making something like this, just something like me talking to this microphone with my webcam, kind of just doing like maybe like a video diary every week of just like what has been going on in this week of my PhD in my final year, because I really wanted to sort of have some sort of log of the final year of my PhD. And it's already like week 3 of the year, so I should probably get started on that soon if I want to do it. But I have postdoctoral apps due at the end of October and beginning of November, and even December. So it's just going to be really hard to squeeze in time. But, doing this is as simple as just sitting at my desk, hitting a record button and talking. So I hope that can be a somewhat of a compensation for the lack of, more production level kind of videos, which will take a while to get to. But it's already been 10 minutes, so I think that is enough to, in terms of brevity. But I hope you guys can understand the kind of struggles I've been dealing with lately over the past year, just sort of the doubts about my career and the direction that I want to take. I'm honestly optimistic about my future. Like, I do think the future has a lot of options for me. I just have no idea what is going to happen, and it's just kind of weird being in this position right now, especially because it's also the last year of my PhD, and I'm working furiously to just get that done. So, yeah, that is it for the video. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys can understand, and I will hopefully see you in the next video.